The flow of human life is like a stream. From beginning of our life till the end of our life, it's a continuous sequence of events. From day to day, from moment to moment, it's a continuous flow. There's no break in it. There's always something happening. The waking state, then the dream state, and the dreamless deep sleep state. Waking state is what we call Jagrat Avastha. In the waking state, our bodies, mind, sense organs, all our faculties are wide awake and open and functioning. Sense organs are functioning, mind is functioning. In the dream state, sense organs are relatively in a restful condition. They are taking rest. Some parts of the body they continue to work around the clock. Some functions are going on all the time. But some other sense organs, hands and feet and eyes and ears, they are taking rest in a dream state. The mind is also active. Mind is not taking rest in the dream state. Mind is actually quite busy in projecting the dreams. Dreams sometimes pleasant, sometimes unpleasant, sometimes frightening. All these things, images are going on in the mind. Dream is being projected. The mind is quite busy in the dream state. Then we go to the deep sleep or sushupti. Sushupti means good sleep. Deep sleep, when there is no dream also. Then the mind is also at complete rest. Everything is at rest. Except some functions of the body are going on. So this way, all the time, round the clock, something or other is happening. So flow. In that flow, you can identify two streams, two courses, if you will. The rishis all gave them names. One course of flow of this life is called Pravritti Marga. You will understand what it is. The other course which it can take is called Nivritti Marga. This stream can take either course A or course B. Course A is called Pravritti Marga. Pravritti. Course B is called Nivritti Marga. Marga means path or course. Now, Pravritti means to become engaged in something. Pravritta. To become busy with something, start doing something. Now we are engaged in studying the Gita, so we are doing pravritti. Now we are engaged in activity. This is pravritti. Nivritti means retirement. Retirement, when somebody retires from service, we call them a nivritta person, retired person. Nivritti means retirement. Retirement from action. Now these two courses are open to us. Most of the time, most of us are following the Pravritti Marga. We are engaged in action. But in the verses 8 and 9, which I think we began to study those two verses together, chapter 5, verses 8 and 9, Sri Krishna explains how Nivritti Marga can be done. How we can retire from action. We can retire from almost all action, except the basic bodily functions, everything stops. The mind also stops functioning, becomes absorbed in the self. That state is called Samadhi state. When a person achieves Samadhi state, the highest state of absorption, becoming one with the divine self, which is already within us, then all its activities, thinking, good thoughts, bad thoughts, dream, waking, everything will stop. The mind is totally absorbed, becomes one with the divine. That is total nivritti. No activity at all, no engagement in anything. No, There's no going to work and making money, bringing up children, family, job, and other worries. No concern. That is total nivritti marga. Now, pravritti marga is what we are following. That is more doable for us. Nivritti marga is difficult to achieve. Some people achieve. How to achieve it is explained in this verses 8 and 9. We will study that one. But Sri Krishna says pravritti marga is the path for the majority of people. That is easy. And that also takes us eventually to the same goal. Now when we engage in action, what it is that we are trying to achieve, there must be a fairly well-defined goal. Otherwise, simply from day to day we live, we do things without any bigger picture in mind, bigger plan for life, then it is not meaningful activity. We just seem to exist. We do some things mechanically every day, but there seems to be no plan, there is no goal, there is no bigger picture. That is not right. We should have a plan, we should have a goal, we should have a target when we work. Then we can work efficiently and work will be productive. So what is the plan, what is the goal? So the rishis thought about that. They provided us a plan of action and a goal or target to be achieved. They gave us, how many goals they gave us? How many goals for life? 4 goals to begin with. Then it converges into 1. But generally it is 4. 4 purusharthas. Purushartha means goals to be achieved. 4 purusharthas. What are they? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. We'll try to understand them. Nivritti marga takes us right away to the 4th goal. Disengagement from all worldly actions and total concentration on the 4th goal. No worldly activities. No job, no work, no family, no other concern, no politics, no sports, nothing at all. Totally absorbed in the self or trying to become absorbed in the self. That is nivritti. Disengagement from action. Only some basic actions may be happening. Bodily functions are happening. They happen on their own without active involvement or volition. Involuntary activities they happen. That is not important. That it goes on. As long as prarabdha is there, the body will continue to function. Then when the prarabdha is all exhausted, all past karma that has begun to bear fruit as exhausted, it will cease functioning, and that is not a... But pravritti marga is the one, that is we can't jump to nivritti marga right away. So we are in pravritti, so let's try to understand that. The 4 goals, dharma is the foundation or basis. For all our life, everything that we do, for artha also, dharma is the basis. Artha means what?
Making money.
The word artha has 2 meanings, maybe more meanings. One meaning is artha means meaning.
Oh, yes.
What's the meaning of artha? Meaning is the meaning of artha. Padartha, meaning of this word. The meaning we are concerned with here is artha means money or any material possession. Money, house, car, and dresses, food, all those things. Artha means money. And generally it includes anything that money can buy also. Material possessions, material goods required for life. We require all these things for life. We need clothes, we need place to stay, we need food, we need other things. That is all artha. We have to earn that one. When we earn artha, when we make money and acquire other things, we have to do it in conformity with dharma. Dharma should never be abandoned. All our activities must be done in conformity with dharma. So dharma is the basis of all other 3 goals, purusharthas. Dharma can never be abandoned. Kama also in conformity with dharma. You know that one. Any kama that is opposed to dharma should not be harbored. You know that slogan? Ma aviruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi Bharatarshava. Where does it come?
7-11.
Oh, 7-11. 7th chapter 11th verse. Easy to remember. You don't have to remember chapter number and verse number, but remember the idea that all kama, whatever desire we want to fulfill, we can fulfill desires. They did not say suppress desire. Go ahead and fulfill them, but fulfill them in the dharmic way. Don't go against dharma. Everything that we do, all actions, including artha and kama, should be done in conformity with dharma. So dharma is the foundation. Dharma, artha, kama. These three things, if you take together, they have a special name for them. Most people stop there. Most people don't go to the fourth goal actively. They don't pursue moksha. They may have some notion, some distant goal. But mumukshutva means desire for moksha, liberation, salvation. That is very faint in most people's lives. Some people have very strong mumukshutva, then they go for it right away. So these three things, dharma, artha, kama, they have called abhyudaya, another term they introduced. Abhyudaya means worldly well-being. For this worldly life, for our day-to-day life, we must have a decent life. We must have enough money. You don't want to be poor and indigent and homeless. You don't want to be hungry. You want to have reasonable, decent life, reasonable things for a decent life you want to have. That provision was made. Dharma, artha, kama. These three things were collectively called abhyudaya. Abhyudaya means whatever is needed for worldly well-being, day-to-day life. You want to lead a good life. You don't want to be leading a very limited life. You don't want to all become indigent and homeless people. Not like that. Nice life. We are entitled to it. We are allowed to do it. We are encouraged to do it. Good life. Why not? Everybody is entitled to happiness. So that is called abhyudaya. The fourth goal, which is moksha, also is called nishreyasa. You came across that term nishreyasa earlier in this chapter. Remember? Sankhya, Yoga, Pratadbala. Where does nishreyasa karavabhav?
No, that is the
that comes there. Ekam, Sankhya, Yogam, Chaya, Pashyati, Sapash. There you come across the word nishreyasa means highest good. Highest good that we can think of is moksha, liberation. Now what is this moksha? There are different views. From different perspectives, moksha can be seen in different ways, understood in different ways. Some people say, if they are Shiva Bhaktas, they say if you go to Kailasa, Shiva is there, so we can be with him forever until eternity. There is no separation. That is their view of liberation. Vishnu Bhaktas, they say we go to Vaikuntha and Vishnu is sitting there and we can be in his eternal company. That is moksha. Then we are free. There is no limitation. There is no rebirth. There is no suffering. That is eternal joy and peace in the company of the divine Vishnu himself. That is like that. And Advaitin say moksha means becoming one with the divine and giving up the individual identity altogether. Just like the river, so many rivers flowing in different directions, they go and merge with the ocean, and that is the liberation. Then when the river merges with the ocean, becomes one with the ocean, what remains? Only ocean remains. The river is not there anymore. That example is given in the Mundaka Upanishad. That is another view of liberation. We become one with the divine alone remains. Divine is infinite. Brahman alone remains. The separate identity that I am a separate person, I am a Jivatman, I am an individual soul, I have this body, I am leading this life, all that will disappear, all that is merged, dissolved, and only Brahman, ultimate reality, remains. That is another view of salvation. Anyway, these are different views. We will study them on a different occasion. So that is Nishreyasakara, that is seen as the highest good, Abhyudaya, worldly well-being, which includes dharma, artha, kama, and Nishreyasa, which is the ultimate good, ultimate goal of life, highest goal of life, that is also called moksha, the four goals of life. Nivritti Marga takes us to moksha right away. Pravritti Marga can also take us to moksha, but through the path of Abhyudaya. See, we can have both. We can have the cake and eat it too. You can have Abhyudaya and you can also have Nishreyasa. That is possible. Pravritti Marga enables us to do that one. We can have a good worldly life. That is why when somebody asks Sri Ramakrishna, do we have to renounce everything, home and job and families, and go to the forest and become sannyasis? Sri Ramakrishna said, no, who said so? That is not required. You can follow the middle path, he said. Madhyama Marga, or middle path. Middle path means you can do Abhyudaya, you can do Nishreyasa. How to do that one? Gita is full of instructions. One place where all these instructions of Pravritti Marga, the path of engagement in action, worldly life, leading a worldly life, becoming householders, having wife or husband, spouse, children, job, family, money, house, car, everything. You don't have to give up anything, except inwardly you become detached. Not physically. Physically you don't have to give up. You can keep all this. Like Janaka kept all those things. Janaka kept a whole kingdom. Did he go to the forest? Other kings wanted to go to the forest to pursue Vanaprastha. That was the custom those days. In ancient India, the custom was all these kings were there with small kingdoms. And they were ruling the kingdom for some time, and they used to have their families, queen and children, everybody, princess. When the first son became old enough to assume the responsibility for the kingdom, the king would do the coronation, entrust the responsibility of the kingdom to the eldest son, and king and queen would repair to the forest to pursue Vanaprastha. But Janaka was also a king. He had a kingdom. He didn't do that one. He stayed put. Because he followed Pravritti Marga. He had the kingdom. He was the king. He also achieved Jnana, Brahma Jnana, highest realization. See, that is the intelligent thing to do. Why to give up anything? That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. You don't have to give up all those things. Just keep all those things, but inwardly cultivate detachment. How to do that one? Is dedicating everything to the divine. Everything belongs to divine anyhow, but we erroneously put the stamp I and mine and call them mine. That habit can be given up. It's all his. Instead of saying I and mine, we simply substitute that with the expression thou and thine. It's all you, it's all yours. But what is my position? I'm still there. The things are still there in my name. The house is in my name. The car is in my name. I go to work every day. When the children go to school, when they say the application of RM is filled, when the parent's name comes, I put the parent's name as me as the parent. All those things, let them be there. But inwardly think that it all belongs to him. My position is only as the manager, temporary custodian, servant and caretaker. On his behalf, who is the true owner, I am managing all these things. How long? As long as it pleases him. That way we can develop inward detachment. We can keep all the things, but inwardly we can become detached. Even children are his children. Then what am I? I am the parent, biologically, but spiritually I am only the babysitter. Until they reach the age of 21. When we finish high school, they already leave home. You don't have to worry about their doing homework or anything. In high school, you have to take care of, drive them to activities and everything. When they go for college, then you are free from them. They lead their own life. Only you have to pay the bills, give them credit card. That is all you have to do. And then when they come, if they are nearby, they come home for weekends, they bring their laundry, they take home food for the next week. If they are far away and start for someplace, then only they come for Thanksgiving and Christmas and third break. So, but you are the babysitter. He is the true owner. This is how the detachment inwardly means everything belongs to him. He is the true owner. I am managing these things on his behalf as his servant, as his caretaker, as the custodian, as the manager, but he is the true owner. When he decides to take these things back from me, he will take it back and I'm free. Because I never thought they were mine in the first place. So I don't feel this separation. That is inward detachment. How about work? We become attached to work also. We become attached to everything. We become attached to our property, our house and car and everything. We become attached to places where we live. We become attached to work that we do, workplace, jobs and everything. We become attached to people with whom we live. We become attached to work and everything. How to develop detachment? Now relationships, children, family, how they can all say they are all gods. How about work? Work also we can do it in a completely detached way, dedicating everything to the Lord. That we have studied in the Gita. Can you tell me where Sri Krishna says dedicate everything to God? Everything we do? 1846. What is the shloka? One shloka which I want you to remember. Only half a shloka, second line only you remember. Shloka number 46 in chapter 18. Go to last chapter and go to verse number 46 and try to memorize. In English you can also memorize. You don't have to worry about Sanskrit. If you don't know, memorize it in English or in Gujarati or Hindi or any Bengali, any language. It's your choice which language. You choose the language, but you memorize the line. What is that line? There Sri Krishna says, Yata pravritti bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam svakarmana tamabhyacya siddhim vindati manavaha. First line also you can omit. It's nice to know it, but if you think it is too much, all right, leave it. Take the second line, hold on to the second line. That has the key to know how the pravritti marga can take us both to Nishreyasa and Abhyudaya. But doing one thing, you can get the result of doing both. Abhyudaya means you can ensure your worldly well-being. Nicely, you can have a decent life that you can do at the same time without sacrificing worldly life and decent life. At the same time, you can achieve God. You can achieve the highest good, realization. How both can be done? By doing one thing. That key to that, answer to that is in this second line of this verse, 46th verse in the 18th chapter. There Sri Krishna says, Swakarmana tamabhyarcha manavaha siddhim vindati. Hold on to that one line and try to understand it and put it into practice. That is the simplest instruction. Most direct and simplest and there is no reason to say you cannot do it, because everybody can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do. Everybody can do that one. What does it say? Swakarma. Swakarma means we all have some duties to do. Children have duties, adults, parents have duties, retired people have duties. They may not go to work every day, but they have duties someplace else at work. They have to take care of other things. After retirement also, work does not cease. And men have duties, women have duties. Everybody has duties. Regardless of stage of life or age or gender or nationality, everybody has duties. Swakarma. And duties keep changing with time. The interesting thing about duty is it changes in two ways. At any given moment, such as today, everybody's duty is different. Somebody's duty is something, somebody else's duty is something else, and they need not be same. They are not usually same. Everybody's duty is different. If you take all the people in this room, everybody's swakarma is a little bit different. There are some common things, but there are different things. At any given moment, duty is different for different people. But if you take any one person, duty changes with time. What was my duty 5 years ago or even last year or last month is not my duty today. It has changed. What is my duty today may not be same tomorrow, may not be same next week or next month. So for any one person it changes. So duty is not fixed. If you say, what is your swakarma? Then I say, depends. Some general swakarmas are there, duties are there. But some other duties vary with time for the same person. So whatever happens to my duty today at this moment, by doing that duty as what? As worship. Abhyarcha. Tam abhyarcha. Tam means him. Abhyarcha means worshipping. By worshipping him, by doing my present duty as worship. Considering all our duties as worship. Doing it is with the same devotion and love that I do my worship. So when you do worship, only think about God. As if it is worship with the same joy, with the same devotion, with the same purity. You do all the worship, all the work, and dedicate everything that you do to the divine as your humble offering, as your worship. By doing that, you are detaching yourself from karma phala, from action and its results. You are free. You are not bound by the karma phala, by the result of your action. So Sri Krishna says, Swakarmana tamabhyarchya, by worshipping him through all your duties, all your swakarma. What happens? What is the result? Manavaha siddhim vindati. Human being achieves perfection. Perfection means the mind becomes pure, free from all attachments and other impurities such as anger, jealousy, hatred, all fear, all those things, pride, all those things. And then when the mind becomes pure, all the impurities are removed. That paves the way for seeing the divine already present within us. That is the way to achieve the result of nivritti also, by doing pravritti, by doing all the work as if it is worship, which is pravritti marga, engagement in. You are not disengaging from action, you are doing all your duties. You are going to work and you are working at home, you do everything. But only inwardly you detach yourself from work and its results by dedicating everything to the Lord and doing everything, all your work as worship of God, and that clears the mind of all impurities, makes your mind pure, and that paves the way for union with the divine, communion with the divine, for knowing the self, the Atman. That is the simplest, most direct way to achieve the fourth goal, moksha. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. That line you remember. Now, if you want to know the answer to the question, whom are we worshipping? The line says tam abhyarcha, worshipping him. Tam means him. It's a pronoun. If you have the question, whom are we worshipping? Then you can go to the first line. If you don't have the question, then you are happy worshipping God in your own way. Then there is no need to go to the first line. But if you have the question, tam abhyarcha, it says, whom are we abhyarching? Kam abhyarcha, if you ask the question, then you go to the first line of the shloka. There is the Lord Sri Krishna says, Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam. Yatah means from whom? From whom? Bhutanam pravrittihi. All the beings have evolved. All the beings in this whole universe have come from him, from the Lord. Yena, by whom? Idam sarvam tatam. The idam means this whole visible world is pervaded. Tatam means pervaded. He from whom this whole universe has come, and he by whom this whole universe is pervaded. By worshipping him through our duties, we achieve perfection. So that is the way that Sri Krishna shows, eminently doable, practical way, within the reach of everybody, how by following the pravritti marga, engaging in action without having to give up anything, by ensuring our abhyudaya, worldly well-being also, dharma, artha, kama, all these three things. At the same time, moksha also can be achieved by doing one thing, by pravritti marga, vihita karma. Okay, let's dwell on that a little bit. What are we required to do? What are we not required to do? First thing, we have to give up two things. Swakarma does not include two things. Let us understand what are two things that we should not do. What is the first thing we should not do? Nishiddha karma. Nishiddha karma means prohibited actions. What are prohibited actions? What actions are prohibited? All immoral, illegal actions are called Nishiddha karma. Nishiddha means prohibition, exclusion. Nishiddha karma means those actions which are prohibited by our standards, by our laws, moral laws. Just such as, give me an example of a Nishiddha karma. Stealing somebody else's property, killing somebody or hurting someone even by harsh words, by saying some harsh word or making some joke, insulting somebody or causing embarrassment to somebody, that is also causing himsa, discomfort to that person. Or doing some action which may cause discomfort to somebody. Or taking away somebody's property. Like that. All of those things are Nishiddha karma. Doing something bad, immoral, illegal action should not be done. So karma excludes those things. We should not do those things. We should not steal and say, I am doing it for God as my worship of God. That won't work. So that we give up. Nishiddha karma we give up. That is fairly obvious. We don't have to dwell too much on that. The second type of karma that we have to give up is what? Kamya karma has to be given up. What is Kamya karma? Where Sri Krishna says about Kamya karma? Kamya karma, 18th chapter, second verse. We'll go to that verse later. First we understand what is Kamya karma. Kama means what? Desire. Kamya karma means actions motivated by one's own desire for oneself. Very limited, narrow-minded view of things. I must gain this and therefore I will do this. Forgetting its larger implications. Whatever actions we do, of course it will bring us benefits. Our benefit is we are one of the beneficiaries. If it benefits other people also, if my action benefits animals and plants and environment also, then I am also included in the beneficiaries. I don't have to be separated. My benefit is already included. But if I do it only for myself, then I am being too narrow-minded and very selfish. That selfishness has to be given up. All our actions have to be done in the largest frame of reference. If a person goes on becoming less and less selfish, more and more unselfish, where does he end up? What is the ultimate that he can reach? If a person becomes totally unselfish, completely unselfish to the maximum degree, what happens to such a person? The I goes away, only the he remains. Swami Brahmarupananda has explained this state of total unselfishness in a sentence which only has 3 words in the Karma Yoga lecture. If you go to Karma Yoga book, Swami Brahmarupananda, he has written one sentence which I remember. I think it is worth remembering. The sentence is, what is the sentence? Unselfishness is God. To the extent we become unselfish, to that extent we become closer to God. In the limiting case, when we become totally unselfish, we become one with God. The limited self has gone away. Only the ultimate reality is love. The Lord. See, this is the way Pravritti Marga shows us. By doing all our duties, inquiring about the well-being of others, being concerned about others, animals and plants and trees, and earth and air and ocean, atmosphere, water, everything, by including all of them in our activities, by examining before we do anything, the possible impact of our actions and all these things. If I am going to do this, how does it affect my neighbors? How does it affect my own family members? How does it affect the environment, animals and plants and ocean and river and air? I should think about the possible consequences of all my actions before I do the actions. And I must do all my actions in the most unselfish way, keeping in mind the well-being, comfort of everybody and everything. Everything also. Then I became totally unselfish. Then that takes me to the highest goal. So by doing all my duties in this way, I am reaching the highest goal. Pravritti Marga itself can take us to Nishreyasa, to moksha. That is the interesting teaching that we hear from the Bhagavad Gita. Nivritti Marga is to some extent introduced in the verses 8 and 9. Shall we go back to verses 8 and 9 now? Okay. Chapter 5, verses 8 and 9. We'll do 8, 9, 10. Naiva kinchit karomiti.
Naiva kinchit karomiti.
Yukto manyeta tattvavid.
Yukto manyeta tattvavid.
Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran.
Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran.
Ashnan gachan shwapan shwasan.
Ashnan gachan swapan swasan.
Pralapan visrijan grinnan.
Pralapan visrijan grinnan.
Unmishan nimishan napi.
Unmishan nimishan napi.
Indriyani indriyartheshu.
Indriyani indriyartheshu.
Vartanta iti dharayan.
Vartanta iti dharayan.
Now, these two slokas, usually these are printed together in most Gita books. These two slokas teach us how, while doing all the activities, physical activities, we can give up the notion that I am the doer, kartritva. When we do any action, there are two things that come with it. Let us understand. Go back a little bit. When we do any action, then there is the notion of kartritva, the notion that I am the doer, aham karta. When I am eating, I say I am eating. When I am walking, I say I am walking. So I comes in. That I makes me think that I am the doer. Aham karta. That feeling, I am the doer, that feeling will come. That feeling that I am the doer is called kartritva. Kartritva means agency. Assuming agency for action. Is that right or wrong? Is it right or wrong to say I am the doer? When somebody says I am the doer, aham karta, what does Sri Krishna call such people? Oh, Sri Krishna is very strong words to call those people who always say I am the doer, I did this, I did that, I am the manager, I am the head of this, I did all this construction, I supervised, I am this chief of this organization. When somebody keeps on saying I all the time, I am the doer, Sri Krishna doesn't like it. He says, ahankara vimodhatma karta aham iti manyate. Ahankara vimodhatma means a person who is vimoda means person of erroneous or incomplete or incorrect understanding. You don't have to call some foolish people, so he translates into that one. People of incomplete, incorrect understanding. Ahankara vimoda, egotistic people. I is very strong in them. Such people always say, I am the doer. They assume kartrutva. They assume agency for action. Now, the jnani, in the beginning of this 8th verse, which we just now read, how does it begin? Naiva kinchit karomi. I am not the doer, I am not doing anything at all. Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and all other great teachers, they never claim that they are teaching people. They rarely use the word I. Sri Ramakrishna would not refer to himself as I. He would say this or here. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrijan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan Napi. All these are activities. Passion means seeing. We see or use our eyes, we see things, they also see things. They are not always closing their eyes and sitting down like this. Shrinvan, they also hear. Whatever sounds come, whatever people tell them, they listen to people's words. Passion, Shrinvan, Sprisham, touching. Passion, Shrinvan, Sprisham, Jigran, smelling. Ashnan, eating. Swapan, sleeping. Shwasan, breathing. Pralapan, speaking. Visrajan, releasing. Grihnan, holding, grabbing things. Unmission, emission, closing the eyes and opening the eyes, blinking. All these activities we do, Ajnanis do, Jnanis also do. But Ajnanis claim that they are the doer. I am the doer, aham karta. They will say. Jnani says, Naiva kinchit karomi. Now the question comes. When they are doing all these activities, at the same time they are saying they are not doing anything. How to reconcile their action that is obviously going on through them. They are also doing same thing. They are speaking and teaching people and going places and everything. Sri Ramakrishna used to worship in the Kali temple. He went on pilgrimage, used to talk to people, answer people's questions. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to reply the correspondence. He composed so many songs and hymns and other works in Tamil, other languages, several languages he composed works. When they are doing all these things, they never claim that they are doing anything. Now how to reconcile their statement that they are not doing anything while they are doing things? Obviously they are active, they are doing many things. That answer is given where? In the last line, second line of the 9th verse. All actions happen indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. Indriyani means sense organs. Indriyartha means sense objects. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. That's how action happens. Sense organs engage with the sense objects. The result is action. That's how all action happens. All action, if you analyze any action, take any action, analyze how it happens, you will find that there are one or more sense organs, sometimes more than one sense organ is involved, and there is always a sense object. When these two interact, action is the result. Now the Jnani asks the question, where is the I? Now Jnani says, I am the doer. There is no I there at all. We put the I where it doesn't belong, where it doesn't exist. Jnani says, no, there is no I here. Action is happening. Action is happening because sense organs are engaging themselves with the sense objects. Where is the I? Am I the sense organ or am I the sense object? There is no I at all. So Jnani says there is no I. Naiva kinchit karomi. Action is still happening. But the Jnani says, oh, he puts the I where it doesn't exist, where it should not exist, doesn't belong. I am the doer, aham karta. That's why Sri Krishna calls them ahankari modatma karta ahamiti manyate. Jnani says, naiva kinchit karomi. Right? That's the nivritti marga. Not giving up actions physically, which is physically not possible also, not desirable, not necessary. We can continue to do actions, but we withdraw the I from where it does not belong, where it was erroneously placed in the first place. And remove the I. Action is still happening. So what is the way for us? We are not Jnanis. I have still identification with the body. Because if whatever happens to the body, I feel is happening to me. I have strong identification. The Atma Buddhi it is called. Dehavan, Sri Krishna calls them in the 12th chapter. When I have that, I cannot honestly say I am not the doer. So what is the way for me? I don't want to say I am the doer because Sri Krishna says anyone who says I am the doer is Vimodhatma. I don't want to take that position. I want to give up the notion of doership. But I cannot also say I am not the doer because I have the distinct notion of being the doer. I have to be honest. So what is the way for me? I am neither here nor there. Is there any way out for people like us who are not jnanis, who can say I am not the body-mind? And they don't want to be a jnani always saying I. So what's the way? Sri Krishna has given lot of instructions for people like us. See, there is a very easily doable way for people who are in, we are pravritti margins, we are engaging in action. We can't give up action so easily. We have duties and we want to do our duties. So we are pursuing the pravritti marga, the path of engagement in action. For people like us who are engaged in action and at the same time want to aspire for liberation, the path is made very easy. We studied just now that one. Sakarmana tamabhyartya siddhim nindati manavaha. That's one place where Sri Krishna says, yes, you keep the notion that you are the doer. You are the doer. We accept that one. But simply say, I am the doer, all right, but I am doing all these things as worship of God. I am dedicating everything to God. So convert all your work into worship, still keep the notion that you are the doer, it doesn't matter. Then it becomes harmless. Dedicate all actions to the Lord, do everything as His worship, then you become free, then you are detached. Is offered to Him as my offering, as my worship, and what He does with it is up to Him. I've done my part. So that way, becoming detached inwardly, that to follow that, Sri Krishna has given instruction in many places throughout the Gita. One place where he makes it very clear is the 30th verse in chapter 3, 330. Third chapter, 30th. He gives 5 instructions in that verse. If you like, we can go to that verse. 5 instructions are given in the 30th verse of chapter 3. So that is the easy path for most of us. We can do pravritti marga, we can engage in action, we can keep the doership. Kartritva also we can keep. At the same time, we can practice detachment by dedicating all actions to God, doing everything as worship. Mayi sarvani karmani Sanyasyadhyatma cetasa Nirashir nirmamo bhutva Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. In this shloka, Sri Krishna has given 5 instructions. Let us take them one by one. First instruction, which is already familiar to us. Sarvani karmani mahi samyasya. Karmani means all actions. Mahi means in me or to me. Samyasya means offering, dedicate. The Lord says, dedicate all your actions to me. Whatever I say, whatever work we do, we say, Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. That is a phrase that people use. When we do some work, we say Sri Krishna Arpanamastu or Sri Parameshwara Praityartham. To serve the Lord, to offer it to God. That way, our doership becomes less. It's done for Him. That is first instruction. Maya sarvani karmani sanyasya. Second instruction is adhyatma cetasa. Adhyatma cetaha. It means a person whose mind is aware of the divine presence within him. In everyone, the same divine is present to the same extent. You know that one? From 13th chapter. Same Lord is present in everyone. That is Adhyatma. God present within each one of us. Being aware of that one. Most of the time we forget that the Lord is present within me. He is seated within me. We have to keep it in our minds. We have to remember when we do any action, we should remember that He is there already. He is the one who is giving me the energy to do this one. I am doing it for Him, offering it to Him. He is present within me. I don't have to go outside to look for Him. Where does it come? In 13th chapter, you go to 2nd verse. In 13th chapter, Sri Krishna makes it very clear. That is one of the most important chapters in the Gita, if you ask me. Upon the foundation of 13th chapter, everything, Karma Yoga, everything is built on the basis of that one. The basis for all of these teachings is in the 13th chapter. There Sri Krishna says, I am present as the Kshetrajna in all the bodies. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra means bodies and minds. Animal bodies and minds included trees, plants, stars, planets, earth, water, air, ocean, wind, sun, moon, everything. And all people, good people, bad people, men, women, everybody. Everybody. In everyone, sarva kshetreshu mam kshetrajnam vidhi. Know me to be the indwelling spirit. He is present as the indwelling spirit in all. But he remains hidden from you. Not because he wants to remain hidden from us. He is not doing it to punish us. It is because we don't have the ability to perceive his presence. Our perception is so clouded. Our minds are so clouded with kama, krodha and other impurities that we cannot see his presence the way he is present within us. So we have to polish our minds, purify our minds. Then his presence becomes clearly visible, self-evident. Oh, he was already there. This is what Yama says to Nachiketa. He is present in all the beings, but simply we are not aware of his presence. Not that he is absent now. Even now he is present in every one of us. Not only in every one of us, in all the beings. Animals, plants, inanimate objects, everything. Even inanimate objects. That is made very clear in the 13th chapter. In the 13th chapter, if you go to verse 26, 26th verse, chapter 13, there you cannot find any place else clearer than that one. Very clearly, the Lord says he is present in all, including inanimate objects. That's why that verse is important. Including inanimate objects, animals, plants and trees and things. There he says, Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam kshetrajna samyogat tadvidhi bharatashabha. Whatever is there in this world, whether moving or unmoving, stavara means unmoving, jangama means moving or unmoving. Whatever is there, it is the combination, samyoga means combination of kshetra, kshetrajna. When these two things combine, the result is all the beings. So you take any one of us, then we have two parts in our personalities. One part is the body, mind and visible things. That does not exhaust our personalities. That part, that's the visible part. But behind that visible part, body, mind, sense organs, hidden behind that is the indwelling spiritual part. This is the material part, visible to the eyes and sense organs. But the spiritual part, consciousness part, is hidden behind that one in all the beings. And that is singular. That's what he said in the second verse. He says, Sarva kshetreshu mam kshetrajnam vidhi. Know me to be the indwelling spirit in all the bodies and minds. But me is one singular, Bhagavan. The Lord himself is present in all. Why we are not able to see his presence? If he is present there, we should be able to see his presence, feel his presence, see him. That is, our perception is not purified enough. So Yama says to Nachiketa, God is present in all, but people cannot see because of their impurities of their perception. Their instruments of perception, namely the mind, is the most important instrument of perception, assisted by sense organs. That mind has to be purified. One way to purify the mind so that we can see the presence of God within us is to do all our work and dedicate it as our worship, doing all our work as worship. So it comes back to the same instruction. So Adhyatma Chet, going back to third chapter, 30th verse, 5 instructions. First instruction is dedicating all actions to God. That purifies the mind, enables us to see the divine within us. Second instruction is Adhyatma Chetasa, being aware constantly of the presence of the divine within me and within everybody else involved in the work situation. If you are a teacher teaching a student, in you, the teacher, the Lord is present. In the taught, the student who is receiving your instruction, in him or her also, the Lord is present. If you are a physician treating a patient, in you the Lord is present, and in the patient also he is present. He comes as the patient. And if you are a patient receiving treatment from a doctor, then you say Vaidyo Narayana Hari, Lord Narayana himself comes as Vaidya, as the teacher, as the doctor, and I am patient. In me also he is there. So it's all he playing one game. He comes as this, and he plays the game, as if it is true. That's why Swami Vivekananda said in the Song of Sannyasin, there is but one, the free, the knower self, without a name, without a form or stain. In him is Maya dreaming all this dream. The witness appears as nature soul. No, thou art that sannyasin bowl, say, oh, that's just all the grand play that he's doing. He comes as person A, he comes as person B, and he engages in action and plays the game. There's only he. There is but one, the free, the knower self. He appears as nature, soul, and individual. Everything. So that is Adhyatma Chetasa, means being aware. When we do any work, we should constantly be aware that the Lord is there within me and within the other person involved in the work situation. Adhyatma Chetasa, second instruction. Third and fourth instruction. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva. Nirashi bhutva, nirmamo bhutva. Nirashi means not a hopeless person. Asha means without expectation of selfish benefits. You can have a target and expect it to meet the target, but be prepared when you don't. But it's necessary to have a target when you do some work. A goal must be specified. Preferably, they say, you should have a measurable objective when you do some work, or some measurable objectives. You do all of that. But when the objectives are not met, when the target is not reached, for whatever reason, we should accept that also with equanimity. Accepting success and failure with equanimity. That's the instruction Sri Krishna gives in more places than one in the Gita. Sukha dukkhe samekritva labha alabhau jaya ajayau samekritva. Labha alabha, gain and loss. Jaya ajaya, success and failure. Samekritva, remaining equanimous. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva, remaining equanimous in success and failure. But we do our best. So that is nirashi bhutva. Third instruction. Nirmamo bhutva, removing the I from the doership as much as possible. If you want to keep the I, but to convert it into the devotee I, a servant I. Sri Ramakrishna says this is the better way. You cannot give up the I altogether. You keep it, but think of yourself as a servant or the devotee or the child of God. You are doing it as his service, as his worship. I can still be there, but then it becomes harmless. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva. Fourth instruction is yugata jvaraha. Jvara means fever. Here, jvara means fever, means the tension, stress, and other impurities of the mind, motivation, that motivate us to work. Sometimes people work out of anger or jealousy, or out of fear, or out of greed. They work. That becomes the motive for those things should be purified. Yugata jvara means making the mind free from impurities in the work situation. Out of jealousy, people sometimes, I read that much, I want to. You do your best. Success and failure is not up to us. Karmani eva te adhikaraha. You only have control about what we do. Phaleshu mate adhikaraha. Sri Krishna already had said in the second chapter. About the result, we have no control because other factors beyond our control come into play a part in the equation, and dictate the outcome. We cannot do anything about it. Then we have no choice but to accept the outcome after having done our best. If the failure is attributable to something that I did not do or did in the wrong way, then I have to take the blame. But if I did my part properly, and still if the project fails, that failure can be attributed only to some factors which, other than my work, over which I probably didn't have much control. Then there's no need to worry. It becomes easier to accept failure or loss. So we got that. Keeping these 5 instructions in mind, we do our action by doing these 5 things. By keeping in mind these 5 instructions, we do all our actions. Do it as worship, dedicate it to the divine. Mind becomes pure. When the mind becomes pure, we will have the perception, experience of the divine within us. The mirror of the mind is wiped clean. Then Lord's presence becomes visible, experienced. That is how Pravritti Marga leads one to liberation. Pravritti Marga leads one to liberation. Straight away takes, I am not a doer. That's what we study in the 8th and 9th verse. If that is hard, then follow Pravritti Marga. Either way, it is possible to reach the Guru. The choice is given. This is the beauty of Gita. Gita doesn't say everybody should say Naiva Kinchat Koromi. It doesn't say that. Before he comes to that, he has already given other alternative options. That is no one is left behind in Vedanta. A path is provided for every person, regardless of where he or she is. That's why you see a multiplicity of instruction. That's why people sometimes criticize. Vedanta says one thing here, something else there. So how to make sense out of this, they will say. This is the reason. That's the role of a guru comes. The guru says, many different paths are available to liberation. This is for you, this is for you, this is for you. That's why in our scriptures, the importance of guru is emphasized. Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tadviti, know that ultimate reality. Tat means that, ultimate reality, or God. By approaching a teacher, jnani, one who knows the truth, one who has reached the path, reached the goal. Only one who has reached the goal can take us to the goal. Otherwise, they can mislead us also. So you have to approach a guru who has already reached. So already पहुंचे हुए हैं, उनके पास जाना चाहिए. If we are not पहुंचे there, then you cannot do anything. He must have reached the goal. That's why Sadguru. Tadvidhi pranipata. 3 things we have to do when we approach a guru. Pranipata, pariprashna, seva. Pranipata means prostration, indicating surrender, devotion, readiness to learn, keeping the ego down. Ego comes as obstruction. If a teacher says something, instead of accepting it and reflecting on what he says, first of all I raise the objection. Oh, how can it be true, sir? Like this. But you think about it. He has told you something. Absorb it. See if it makes sense. If it doesn't, then you can ask a question to understand, to clarify. This is a clarification you can see. But we don't want to accept, you want to question the teacher right away. That is not good. Then learning becomes, you put an obstruction in the path of learning. That shouldn't be done. Pranipatena. Pariprashna means inquiry to know the truth. Inquiry into the nature of reality. Pariprashna means a true inquiry, true spirit of inquiry into the nature of reality. Sevaya. Seva has to be done. Service has to be done. Te jnaninaha tattvadarshina, those jnanis who know the truth, jnanam upadekshanti, they will impart this knowledge, help you to learn, gain this knowledge. So that is why there is a multiplicity of paths. Which path is suitable for whom? To decide that one, to guide us to the right path that is appropriate for us, the teacher comes into the picture. So Sri Krishna has mentioned so many things in the course, so many shlokas we saw today. One shloka says, I am not the doer at all. Other shloka says, I am the doer, but I am doing it as an offering to God. 2, 3 instructions we saw. And the other shloka says, be the instrument in my hand. Nimitta matram bhava. So which one am I supposed to follow? Why he says one thing or something else there? You can ask like that. People come up with some questions like that. Is the reason. For everybody, a path suitable to everyone, regardless of the stage in which they are, a path is provided. That is the beauty of Vedanta, the strength of Vedanta. We don't say one thing and everybody do this. If you don't like it, you don't. Sorry, you can't do anything. We don't do that. We don't want to leave behind anybody. Everyone is taken care of. No one is left behind. That is Vedanta policy. No child is left behind. No seeker is left behind. To everyone, a path is provided. That's why you see a multiplicity of approaches. That is the beauty. That's our strength. That's the richness of Sanatana Dharma. We should be happy and proud of inheriting this infinitely vast, rich Sanatana Dharma. Beauty is that. But you have to understand, not everything is meant for everybody. Everybody cannot say, Navakinchit Karami. For those who are ready, who are prepared, who can do that, it is meant for them. So then we go to 10th sloka. This also, here also Sri Krishna teaches detachment from karma and karma phala. From karma, we become detached by dedicating all actions to God. Tat Purusha Madarpanam, dedicating everything to Him. Mai Sarvani Karmani Sarnyasya, doing it as worship, we offer the fruits also to Him. Swakarmana Tamabhyas. So, when we do that one, a person becomes totally unattached, free from attachment. Either to karma or karma phala. We become attached to karma, we become attached to karma phala. This is my work, only I must do it. Or it's not my work, I don't want to do it, let him do it. That thing will go away. Another thing is work, whether it is agreeable or disagreeable, whether it brings visibility or praise, or nobody notices, nobody says thank you. If it is our swakarma, we have to do it joyfully. Where does Sri Krishna say that one?
No, Dveshasti, Kusulam.
10th verse?
In this?
In the chapter 18? Is
So,
it 10?
no, yeah, 10th verse.
Chapter 18.
No, Dveshasti.
Yes, 10th verse, chapter 18. It doesn't matter if the work is disagreeable, no visibility, nobody comes and praises you for doing this. You're just somewhere in the corner, you're doing your chores. They should not become depressed. Oh, nobody's noticing, my name is not coming on the newspaper or in the television, nobody's showing my picture, doing my work. That should be. Nadveshti akushalam karma kushale nanushajjate yagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samshayaha akushalam karma nadveshti. It says, neither hates unmeritorious work nor clings to meritorious work. Akushalam, kushalam karma. Disagreeable work, cleaning, cooking, doing laundry, taking care of things. Nobody says thank you, nobody visits, nothing big, no news. Big news is made, but it is all worship of God. Kushalena anushajjate. If it is visible work, brings rewards and praise and publicity, visibility, then we should not become attached to it and become proud. Oh, I am doing very important work. You are only doing menial chores like that. We should not say. So, in the 10th verse, we go to 10th verse in the 5th chapter. Brahmanyadhaya karmani
Brahmanyadhaya karmani
Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya
Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya
Siddhya livyate nasapapena
Livyate nasapapena
Padmapatramivambhasa
Padmapatramivambhasa
Karmani brahmani adhaya Sangam tyaktva yaha karoti. A person who does all actions, dedicating all actions to the divine and giving up attachment. Brahmani sarvani karmani adhaya. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. These are that instruction. Same thing. Sangam tyaktva. That has come in second chapter. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva sangam tyaktva. Where does it come? Second chapter, shloka 48. Yogastha karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga vichyate. Two instructions, very important. First thing is sangam tyaktva. How to give up sangha? Dedicating everything to the Lord. Then I and mine will not be there. When I give something to somebody, then neither I am there nor mine is not. Mine is there. Mine has gone away. That's why we say, Somaya idam namama, we say, it's not mine. It never was mine, but if I had any notion that it was mine, that is also given up. Now, it is offered to the Lord. That is Sangam Tekva, offering, dedicating everything, and taking away the I from that one, mind from that one. Siddhya siddhyo samabhutva, remaining equanimous in success and failure, in loss and gain, in pain and pleasure. That equanimity. Why? Because result is not entirely up to me, not only a function of my work. Other factors also come into play. Other factors which you studied earlier in 18th chapter. So many factors come into play. They alter the whole equation and determine the outcome. Of those, all the factors that play in the equation, play part in the equation in shaping the outcome, my work is one only. That's not the only one. So if I do my part properly, then that is all I have to do. Let the other parts do their work. So I accept the outcome with equanimity. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva, remaining equanimous in success and failure. But after doing my best, if the failure is attributable to something that I did not do properly, or I did it in a wrong way, then I have to take the blame. I am responsible for the failure. But if I have done my part properly, if still the failure occurs, that failure is not attributable to me or the fault in my work. It is attributable to other factors. Did I have much control over them? That we have to examine. Sometimes you can only optimize those variables. You cannot always ensure that they work. You cannot always maximize them. So that situation you have to accept. That is the shortage and that is the nature of work and karma phala. Not entirely up to us. That's why Sri Krishna cautioned in the very beginning. Ma phaleshu te adhikaraha. You have no control over the outcome. Don't think that you are the person producing the outcome. Ma karma phala hetu. That instruction was given to prepare the ground for the following instructions. Brahmani karmani adhaya sangam tyaktva yaha karoti karmani karoti saha papena nalipyate, becomes untainted by any adverse effect of the action. Remains unaffected by karma phala. So kartritva was given up, now bhotritva is also given up. These are two things that bind us. What binds us when we do action? Pravritti marga, kartritva, bhoktritva. So he has shown us how to become free from both. Gives an example. Padma patramivam bhasa. Just like a lotus leaf in water. Lotus leaf has to live in water. It doesn't grow on the ground. But still it remains unaffected by water. We have to live in the world. We can't go anywhere leaving the world behind us. Everywhere you go, world is there. But living in the world, being unaffected by its limitation, by karma phala, we can remain unaffected just as a lotus leaf remains unaffected by the water in which it has to live. Be in the world, but not be affected by the world.